So how we can compare the three sectors, that which sector is most important? So on the basis of the size, it can't be compared. So for the comparing, that is taken the final goods. So first there are two kinds of goods. One is known as intermediate and second is known as final goods. So now come first intermediate goods. These are those goods which is basically used for the production of final goods. In other words, we can say intermediate goods are those goods which is within the boundary of production, which is within, here we can say the production process has not completed. So that is known as intermediate goods. For example, suppose here that is the cloth. So this is the cloth and it is converted into shirt. So shirt is not the intermediate goods, but cloth will be considered as intermediate goods because the cloth is converted into shirt and shirt will be considered as the final goods. So once again, final goods are those goods which is beyond the production boundary. Means further any production or any changes will not be taken, and that is known as final goods. And intermediate goods are those goods which is within the production boundary. So here I just give you one example for both. Suppose there is a farmer. So farmer produces wheat. Okay, first that is the farmer, it produces wheat. Now second is the wheat is purchased by the miller and miller convert it into flour. Is it clear? So wheat is converted into flour by the miller. Now this flour is purchased by the owner of a hotel. Owner of hotel or restaurant, and this flour is converted into, suppose, bread, and this bread is purchased by the consumer and this bread can't be changed in another form, so that bread is considered as final goods. Final goods. So this is the final goods, and remaining will come under intermediate goods. Intermediate good. So these are the intermediate goods and bread is the final goods. So the value of bread will be considered in the economy, not the value of other intermediate goods. Here I just give you the numerical value also. Suppose 10 kg of wheat is produced. Its market price is rupees 8 per kg. It means the total value of the wheat will be 80. That will be rupees 80. So in the monetary form, 10 kg, that is our output, and this output is converted into the monetary value in rupees 80 because 8 rupees per kg the wheat is sold in the hand of millers. In the hand of millers, and this rupees 80 is converted, this wheat is converted into flour and it is sold at rupees 100. So here 20 rupees value addition is done by the miller. So this 100 rupees, at rupees 100 the owner of the hotel has purchased and he converted it into bread and it is sold in the market at rupees 120. So the final output of this wheat is rupees 120, and the remaining 100, 20, 80 we will not take, otherwise the value will becomes 200 and it will create the problem of double counting. So in this way the final goods is taken, or the value of final goods is taken, that is known as GDP. So now come another term that is known as GDP. So what is the GDP? GDP. Its full form is gross domestic product. So what is gross domestic products? It is the total output which is produced within the country by the residents in a 1 year. So once again, GDP is the total output which is produced by the residents within the country in a year is known as GDP. So total output means what? This is the most important thing, total output. So total output is taken from the primary plus secondary plus tertiary sectors. So the value of all the output is taken from the primary, secondary and tertiary sectors, and this is produced with the help of residents within the country in a year is known as GDP. So if 1 marks question comes in the board, you will just only define GDP. It is the final output of the goods which is produced by the residents of the country in an accounting year, that is known as GDP. Is it clear? Okay. Historical changes in the sectors. Is it clear? So what is historical changes in sectors? So first of all, I want to start it, suppose 100 years ago. Let it is a village. It is a small village and it is a big village. Okay, so village is, there are two kinds of village. One is a small and other is big. So village, it indicates the size of village. Size of village on the basis of population. Is it clear? So on the basis of, so a small size of village indicates there are less number of people in this village, and big size of village indicates there are more number of people in the village. And we also know that the resources are limited, means earth is limited or the land is limited. So as the number of persons increased, they were unable to survive their life on only single activities, that was agriculture. So some of the people started to migrate towards the town. And in the town, that is the farm. Okay, so here a number of villagers started to migrate towards the town in search of job, basically in the farm or industries. So the production in the village increased due to the construction of farm. So more number of farm has been constructed in the urban areas, and the people have started to migrate and they are able to produce more. So here more production and less consumption. So here less consumption. Is it clear? So if production is more and the consumption is high, it means they are able to produce surplus amount So that surplus amount will be sold in the town or in the urban areas, and their income increased, and they start to live a prosper life. Now, for the migration from village to urban areas, there was the requirement of transportation, communications. Also, for the construction of the farm, that was the requirement of a skilled people, and a skilled people may come from higher educations through the training. So number of schools, hospitals, and different kinds of transportation, banking system, administration, everything started to increase. So it happened in a long period of time, and in this way the life of the village had changed due to surplus amount of goods. Their life became prosperous, and the skilled people moved towards the farm, and when their income started to generate more and more, they started to demand more facilities. So these facilities such as hospital, next better education, next mall and other things. So mall also the rich people were demanding for marketing purpose, and that was the mall. So in this way, as the time passed, the structure of Indian economy also changed, and the people moved towards the luxurious life. Is it clear? And that is known as historical change in the sectors. Rising of tertiary sector in India. So that is our chapter's topic. But the question will come, why the tertiary sector is growing at a faster rate? So it is growing at a faster rate can be divided into 5 parts. First is the basic services. So basic services means the services of administrators, hospitals, educations, and so on. So these are the basic requirements of the people, and these are also basic requirement for the development of economy. So the government took the responsibility how to manage these basic services so that the progress may take place. Second, development of industries. Initially in our country there was a single private large scale industry, that was the Tata Iron and Steel Company. But as soon as we got the independence, a number of industries were set up. It may be related to the iron, it may be related to fertilizers and so on. So these company has the requirement of transportation, warehousing to keep their goods in a proper way. They also started to trade from one country to another countries, and due to that they were demanding more and more transportation and communication. Some of the industries also wanted to increase their production, and at that time it was the requirement of capital, so a number of banks has been also opened. So here the transportation, banking system and the communication is a part of tertiary sector, and due to that the tertiary sector was growing at a faster rate. Third point is the rise in income. When the people migrates from village to the towns in search of job, they got the different kinds of job. Their income continuously increased to rise, and they have also the surplus amount of money. So they want to live a luxurious life. As a result, they have started to demand more private hospitals, better educational facilities, means private schools. So in this way the number of schools, colleges, shopping malls, everything starts to increase, and our tertiary sector is growing. Next is the development of IT sectors. So new sector, that is known as the IT sector, it has taken a revolutionary action in the economical activities. IT sector has changed the pattern. A number of mall has been opened in different areas, but due to the development of IT sectors, they have started to provide the goods in their own house. So in this way online shopping is being started due to the development of IT sector. Nowadays we can also purchase the tickets whenever I am sitting in my own house. So it is the boon of IT sectors. So internet is a revolutionary changes took place in the economy. Next is the educated unemployment. So as the population increased, all the increased population was not capable to get a job. So these people were unemployed, and they started their own businesses, such as some of the people engaged themselves in the transportation, some engaged themselves in cafe for internet facilities, some have started their own shops. So in this way the tertiary sectors increased at a faster rate. So in this way we can say that in our country tertiary sector is growing at a faster rate due to the development of primary and secondary sectors. Is it clear? Okay.